Alright, so we have a 17 Chevy Silverado. We're setting all the monitors. You can tell none of the monitors have set right now. We're doing our first drive, and we're going to go ahead and accelerate to 55 miles an hour. Alright, so we'll be cruising here for a bit, 55 miles an hour, and then I'll come back here in a second. Okay, we've been cruising at 55 for a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to decelerate, and what that's going to do is going to go into deceleration, and that should run the EGR system here. Just going to let it coast down. Once we coast down a little bit, I'll accelerate again. Okay, we're almost reaching 35, 30. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit more. And then go ahead and accelerate. Once we reach 55, it should set. Alright, so we've been cruising for a little bit now, coming up to where I usually stop. We're gonna go ahead and decelerate, just let it coast down. See, it set the EGR already. Gonna hit the brake, do a U-turn into that spot right there by the mailboxes. So here we are. Okay. And now we're gonna park here for a minute. And what we're gonna watch is we're gonna set the catalytic converter right now. Where's that? Boom. Done. Alright, so now for the evap fuel system and O2 sensor monitor, it does need to cool down for 6 hours. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and let it cool down for 6 hours and then drive it again. At this point, it's a good idea to check, make sure you have no codes, pending codes or current codes. So check engine lights off, but it's a good time to check. If you do have codes at this point, you would need to address them, fix whatever's causing the codes, and then start over. Alright, so these are two brand new catalytic converters. This is what they should look like. Sorry about the glare. I'll move it over. Alright, so as you can tell, we're cruising right now about 35 miles an hour. When I hit deceleration enrichment, should turn off the injectors, causing it to go lean, and you'll see that lean drop from the O2 sensors, which is a good thing because they all react. So here I am idling, and you can see the O2 sensors are holding oxygen. Okay, begin to cruise again, and you'll see the rears reacting, and then the fronts switching back and forth. Okay, so this is a good set of catalytic converters. Alright, so it's been about 5 hours. Not exactly the 6 we were shooting for, but let's go ahead and try it. We're going to drive it again. As you can tell, it says the O2 sensor monitor is enabled, so it should set it. And then if we look at the very top, it says that it's not completed. So let's go ahead and drive it 55 miles an hour again. Okay, and we're gonna cruise and see what it does. Alright, so if we actually look here at the bottom, it says startup to ECT is 96. So that's still not cold enough for a cold start. So that's where it shows cold startup, and then it says no. So it didn't exactly have enough time to cool down all the way. But we're still going to try it, see if it sets it. Alright, so we're coming up to our spot again. There's a lot of traffic, so I'm just going to go ahead and cruise by. There's nobody behind us, so I'm just going to let it decel all the way down until it's about 20 miles an hour, and then we're going to watch it on the scanner and see if it sets. So basically what we're looking for is a deceleration cutoff. So as it goes into decel, it runs the oxygen sensor monitor. So once it hits 20 miles an hour, that should be enough. Okay, so it did not set this cycle. So let's go again and drive it some more. Alright, so currently in the decel again, all the way back to 0. If it does not set here, I am going to go back and let it cool all the way down and then continue this process tomorrow during the daytime. Alright. Alright, so as you might see, we did see the fuel system run. We did not see the O2 sensor or the O2 sensor heater set, but I think the O2 sensor itself might actually set when we pull into town here. I'll check back with you guys on that one, but the heater or the evap will not set until after it's been sitting for 6 hours, like mentioned earlier. So tomorrow morning I'll let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning I will come back and drive it again, perform the deceleration just like we did in the past clips, and it should set it in there. Alright, so we're back. We still haven't set the oxygen sensor monitor, and I'll show you here. We're going to go into mode 6. And this is going to tell us what tests have ran and what tests haven't ran. So we could click on O2 sensor here. That's for bank 1, sensor 1. And this is going to show us the test, each individual test. So sensor threshold voltage, rich to lean. And then it'll show us a pass, lean to rich. Show us a passed, low voltage switch time, passed, and then we go all the way down to the bottom, and you can see not complete. So test result not complete. So that's the test we're trying to do, which is the decel. Alright, so here we are next morning. It is a cold start. You can see the gauge, and we're going, and data display, we're going to go ahead and go into, where's this thing at? I am data, system data, and we're going to go here, so we will be able to see that the O2 sensor monitor is ran now. As I just started this truck in the morning cold, and we could see the O2 sensor now is enabled. Monitor complete, no. So we're gonna go drive it and then see if it'll set it. Okay, just one more look at readiness. So you'll see monitors complete since DTC is cleared. Click on that, and you'll see O2 sensor heater is now set. Last night we left it unset, and everything else was set. So we'll go drive this again, do their decels, and that should run the monitor for the O2 sensor. Alright, so here we are driving about 60 miles an hour. Okay, you see the 60 miles an hour. We are cruising, and I'm gonna go ahead and decelerate right now that I have room. Okay, so decelerate, and we're gonna go down to about 20 miles an hour. Okay, cars are approaching behind me, so I'm keeping note of where the cars are. And let's see, you can see 40 miles an hour. Okay, boom, I just set the O2 sensor monitor. Okay, so that's all it takes to run all your monitors. In California, we do not require the evap system to run, but if you did want the evap system to run, or need the evap system to run, you are also pretty much finished here. All you would need to do is let the car sit overnight and then repeat another 55 mile an hour drive cycle, and that should do it. I believe the evap system, you had to let it sit for about 14 hours. It could be different, but yeah, that would be how to set your monitors on a 2015 to, I believe, 18 Chevy Silverado. Alright, one thing to make a note of is if your check engine light comes on during that time, when all your monitors are set, that means you have a check engine light or a code stored, which you would have to address at that time. The other thing I want to address is that when you decelerate, all you're doing is letting off the gas pedal and not touching the brake or the gas. Now make sure there's room in front of you, that way you can decelerate, pull over, do whatever you need to do. But if you hit the brakes, that interrupts the deceleration period, so it will not work.